Hey there, Carnage Cravers. Welcome back to Carnage Corner. I am Ken Carnage, and I know that this is coming to you just a little bit late, but I still wanted to get it out to you. This is my review of Stomping Grounds. Okay, so on the kickoff show, we had the Cruiserweight Championship match, which it was, disappointing to see the kickoff show regulated, the Cruiserweight title regulated back to the kickoff show, but it is what it is. This was a triple threat match between Tony Nese, Akira Tozawa, and Drew Gulak. And the match is going really good. Like I enjoy the work of all three of these guys. Gulak being my favorite of the three, but I enjoy the not just the ring work but the character work of all three of these individuals. One thing that annoyed me immensely was the advertisements for other matches during this match. Like they do that thing where they bring the match to a small screen and give a bigger screen to the advertisement, which is, way to say, hey guys, you don't matter. I mean, I know I've said it before, and I'll most likely say it again, but like it's a championship match. It's not some throwaway match with some jobbers. It's a championship match. It's supposed to matter. You're treating it like it doesn't matter. So then the first match of the main card, we got Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans for the Raw Women's title. The match was good. I was enjoying the match. I like Becky. I'm really beginning to like Lacey Evans. Michael Cole made an ass of himself because he called a regular armbar the disarmor, which Cole. Come on, Cole. This is your job, bud. Know the names of the holds. What are you doing? Huh? Alright, so that's enough breaking Michael Cole's balls. I'm sure Vince did that enough. Long story short, Becky Lynch won the match. The finish was okay. I'm going to be honest, I kind of want them to put it on Lacey. I would like that. To be clear, I've also always preferred heel champions because I feel... I honestly feel heels make better champions, because you can have multiple chasing baby faces and whatnot, and a good heel is what makes a good baby face. Any hero is only as good as their villain. So that's part of the reason why when you have a long reigning babyface champion, it starts to feel stale. Think about Hogan as champion or even Cena as champion during his longer runs. It starts to feel stale. You start to get tired of it, and the reason for that is it's like, you get to the point where like you just expect them to win, whereas when you've got a heel that's been, winning by hook, by crook, dirty finish, technicality, any of all that stuff, it's not so much that you expect them to win, but you hope more that they lose, so, but alas, they did not do that. Becky won, and again, the finish was okay. I had Lacey tap, but and this was the first they'd mentioned, as far as I knew, of the relationship between Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, and I thought it was strange that they were even saying that on commentary, making that clear. I thought it was strange, but it apparently is going to come into play later. So then we had a vignette for Ali. He's like walking down the street in a hoodie, and some guy takes. What is this bullshit? What is this bullshit? Like, this guy ain't Batman. He ain't Daredevil. He like, what the fuck you trying to make this guy into? This is a flip flop and fly fucking, This guy, he ain't shit. What are you doing? Don't try and convince me that fucking Ali is a badass. Okay, do not try and convince me that Mufasa Ali is a badass. I'm never gonna fucking buy it. I've taken shits bigger than that motherfucker. Like, seriously. What the fuck is this? What is this bullshit? Alright, then we went into an interview with Paul Heyman, because Heyman got caught coming out of Corbin's dressing room, and they were trying to get Heyman to say who the guest referee was, and, you know, Heyman blew them off, and, you know, this, that, and the third. Then they interviewed Corbin, and Corbin tried to imply that the interviewer was there for something other than an interview, which was humorous. He didn't pull it off that well. There was other people who could have done it better. He just kind of came off as skeevy, but maybe that's what they were going for, you know. Anyways, our next match was a tag team match. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Big E and Xavier Woods. You know, I never thought I'd root for the New Day, but here we are. All right. The match was a bit of a cluster, I'm not going to lie. Owens used the stunner for the win. Kevin Owens using the Stone Cold Stunner is fucking shameful. I cannot believe Steve is actually okay with it. I mean, he seems to be. He doesn't seem to have a problem. But God fucking damn it if that is not shameful as hell. Owens and Zayn win. The match was shit. And the finish was worse. Alright, then we got Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross backstage. You know, I'm going to be honest, I didn't really listen to what they were saying. It was, you know, I'm sure they were just, you know, building on the idea that, you know, Bayley will say anything and stab anyone in the back and whatnot. And, you know, I like the story they're doing here as far as, you know, because this is, you know, this is going to end, I would assume this is going to end with Alexa eventually getting the title from Bayley, and then her turning on Nikki the same way she's turned on all of her other allies, and then end with Nikki eventually beating Alexa for the title. I would like all of that. That would all be good. But in either case, we then went to Ricochet versus Samoa Joe for the U.S. title. Ricochet won, which good for Ricochet. Michael Cole's a jackass again, saying that Ricochet has won his first title in the WWE. Yeah, what about the WWE NXT North American title, Cole? Seriously, Cole. You're the lead announcer. What the fuck you doing? Alright, that being said, the match was good. I like Ricochet. I mean, he is a guy who does a fair amount of flip, flop, and fly, but his style meshed very well with Samoa Joe. You know, I think the high-flying style is actually best suited going up against the style of somebody who's more of a bruiser, brawler, powerhouse type versus high flyer versus high flyer. High flyer versus high flyer just turns into a fucking, you know, a fireworks show, essentially. You know, yeah, ooh, but it's not actually fucking doing anything, you know, like, oh, pretty colors. Oh, but where's the substance? Okay. Depending on what substance you took, you might be seeing pretty colors already. But in either case, you know, Ricochet won the match. It was a good match. It was a good finish. Enjoyed it. Very much enjoyed it. I love Samoa Joe's work, and I'm becoming a fan of Ricochet. You know, when he came in, I really did think that this was just going to be another cruiserweight. Which, not that there's anything wrong with cruiserweights, I do like them, but I wasn't really expecting him to do big things, even though he had a lot of buzz on the indie circuit. But just because somebody's got a lot of buzz on the indie circuit does not mean that they're going to be a good fit or do anything big in the WWE. You know, it's not like the indie circuit is all that big on storytelling. Mostly, it's big on, you know, spots. And you know, spot. I'm not a fan of spot monkey bullshit. I like a story. I like to see some selling. I like to, you know. So, but in either case, good match, good finish. So, Heavy Machinery then takes on Rowan and Daniel Bryan for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Oh, God. I wanted Heavy Machinery to win so badly, but they did not. Daniel Bryan and Rowan win. It was actually a good match. I was enjoying it. I love Heavy Machinery's work. There's something very impressive about watching Otis Dozovich do the Caterpillar, because, like, that is a big, big fucking man. And he's moving. So, but... alas, they did not win. Daniel and Rowan won. It was a good match, but the finish was kind of shit. Not kind of. The finish was shit. They need to get the belts off of Rowan and Bryan, and, you know, bury Bryan in a field somewhere. He'll like it there with the trees. You know, I find it funny that Bryan was so offended by the black leather strap of the WWE title that he brought forth that monstrosity made of hemp and wood. Excuse me, naturally fallen oak. Yet he seems to have no problem hoisting up the platinum attached to the dyed blue leather strap. What is it, Daniel? Which is it? Are you offended or are you not? Are you a hypocrite? I think you are. But, that being said, then we go into the match between Bayley and Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This match, I really, really enjoyed this match. You know, I've always liked Alexa's work. Bayley's, not so much, I'm going to be honest. I have never been a big fan of Bayley. But Bayley won this match, unfortunately. Like I said, the match was great. The finish was shit. It was a shit finish. You know, I think the wrong person won. I don't think Bayley is championship material whatsoever. And they're trying to do this thing where they make Bayley edgy. I don't buy that shit. I'm sorry. Like, Bayley's not edgy. You know, like... Her whole entire character, like, seriously, like Liz said, she's the jackass who gets out of the ring and then waits backstage for John Cena's autograph. You know, like, you don't fucking belong here, you know? And you certainly don't belong with a fucking shoulder, with a title on your shoulder, you know? It's, I don't know. Again, in my opinion, but I feel like Bayley holding the SmackDown Women's Championship does absolutely nothing good for the title. They went ahead and showed us the 24/7 title shenanigans that had happened. Dear God in heaven. At this point, I've given up trying to keep track of who has won that title, how many times, and from who, and this and that, and it's just, it is fun to see what kind of shenanigans they do, because it's fun, you know, it's a fun thing, but it's, let's be fair, it's not a title that's meant to be taken seriously at all. And then we saw Ricochet taking pictures with his new United States Championship, and the Club and AJ Styles come in to take pictures with him, and AJ tells him, "I'll see you Monday." So, and then of course, if you have been following, you know that AJ won the title back the next night. So, hey, good on AJ. It is what it is. I told you I like heel champions. Now Ricochet, chase. From there we went into Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. God, do I love Drew McIntyre's work. And my feelings for Roman Reigns are known. Actually, there was a great spot where Drew was had Roman almost in like a camel clutch type situation, but he stuck his fingers in his mouth and opened his mouth up really wide. Drew just really wanted to show us why Roman has the spot that he's got. It's because of how big he can get his mouth. Vince really, really likes that. So that being said, Roman won the match because of how big he could get his mouth. Like I said, Vince really, really likes that. The match was good. It was a good match. Again, it was a shit finish. Nothing Roman does is fucking believable. I'm sorry. I don't believe any of it. Nothing Roman does is believable. Aside from, opening his mouth really wide, because like I said, Vince really likes that. That being said, we then went into what should have been the main event of the show. Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler in a cage match for the WWE title. I was anticipating this to be a really good match. Was immediately disappointed when Kofi came out for his entrance, because he turned the WWE title into a fucking pancake pouch. The fuck? It's the WWE title, you gyrating goof. It is not a pocket for your pancakes. It is not a flap for your flapjacks. Excuse me. Okay. But once they got into the cage, I was happy again because the match between these two was great. It was really great. It was so good. Lots of back and forth. They really, really sold you on the desperation of trying to get out of the cage. Made the title seem important despite the fact that it had just been used as a goddamn pancake pouch. And then, it looks like Dolph's gonna pull it out. It looks like he's gonna win. And Kofi gets the win in desperate fashion. Because he runs, instead of trying to pull Dolph back, he runs and just jumps through the door and and knocks the wind out of himself as he hits the floor. So technically he wins. But definitely in desperate fashion. And I like that because they really played up the idea that, yeah, Kofi's good, but he's not so good that he, couldn't land that clean victory. Kofi's not had a clean victory. He didn't beat Dolph clean at the Saudi Arabia show. Woods helped. Here, I mean, okay, it's technically a clean victory, but it's not a dominant one. It's a desperation. It's a, throwing caution to the wind. I've got nothing left. This is all I've got. Spray and pray type shit. So, yeah. The match was great, and it was a good finish because it told a story. We then had an interview with Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon, which they're gonna run this as long as they can, and that's okay. I know it is what it is. It's Shane beat Roman. I know a lot of people are upset because there's people theorizing that Shane McMahon's actually going to win the WWE title at some point in the future. I don't necessarily think they will do that, but I'll tell you what, if they do, I wouldn't hate it. I would kind of like it, because then you have people chase it. Problem is, they would probably have Roman chase it, which would annoy the shit out of me. All right, so what was the main event but shouldn't have been? Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins for the Universal title with a special guest referee. Now, there's a fundamental problem with the way Seth Rollins has been acting, and that's that he's supposed to be our good guy, yet he's acting like a child. Leading up to this match, he took out anybody who he saw even so much as talk to Baron Corbin, which is asinine. Okay, like it's not the way a babyface behaves. A babyface does not grab his steel chair and just walk around smashing the shit out of anybody who might make his life harder. That is heel behavior through and through. And then it's revealed that Lacey Evans is the referee, and I gotta say, this is brilliant on the part of Baron Corbin. It's absolutely brilliant on the part of Baron Corbin, because is Seth gonna beat her with a chair? No, he's not. So the match went on, and Lacey decided that it was going to be a no count out match partway through there, and then that it was going to be a no disqualification match and whatnot. And so yeah, Lacey's obviously an inexperienced referee, but at the same time, like, what was Corbin supposed to do? Rollins took out everybody else. So that being said, the crowd was at one point chanting Goldberg, which I know you're in Washington State, so I have to ask you, like, how high are you? Like, you're chanting Goldberg. Goldberg's not even there, bro. Like, how much kush did you smoke? You need to stop. So then, because of the no disqualification match, Becky comes out. Becky fucking attacks the referee Lacey Evans, and I swear to God, in the course of what had to be less than 5 minutes, the announce team must have told us that Seth Rollins was Becky Lynch's boyfriend at least a dozen times. Look, guys. We don't care where Rollins is putting his mediocre meat missile, okay? We don't care, okay? Becky's got low standards. Good for her. We don't care. In either case, Becky takes out Lacey. And so the same referee that screwed Baron over at Saudi Arabia jumps in the ring and hits the count on a roll-up for Seth Rollins. So Seth wins due to a biased official. Again. The match was great. It was very entertaining. It was enjoyable for sure. Had me laughing. But this finish was stupid. The finish was absolutely stupid. Not for nothing, I would love it if they put the Universal title on Baron. I think it would be great. Baron would make a good transitional champion. I'm not saying he should have a long run, but he would make a good transitional champion. But Seth Rollins is a mid-carder. Seth Rollins belongs in the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title picture. He does not belong wrestling for the Universal title or the WWE title. I'm sorry, but he doesn't. It's just... I understand people like him and whatnot, and, but, I mean, the guy is barely even a heavyweight. Like, if he forgets to eat lunch, he'll be a cruiserweight, okay? So, he does not belong holding a heavyweight title. He just does not. I'm sorry. The match of the night, by far, was Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler. Even though technically these are two guys who probably don't belong in the heavyweight weight class either, but still they had the best match of the night, and there's no disputing that. So yeah, it's I'm not sure what the name of the next show is. I gotta go find that out, but I'll be coming to you with a review for that one as well. Hopefully that one won't be as late as this one was. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go ahead and subscribe if you liked anything that I said. Go ahead and give me a like if you liked anything I said. If you don't like what I say, give me a dislike. That's fine. I can take it. I don't have thin skin. And leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. What did you agree with? What did you disagree with? Am I an asshole? I know I'm an asshole, but you can tell me if you want to. In the meantime, always, always remember that carnage is right around the corner.